program or anybody that follows it. So what that allows us to do is allows us to coach a group that's really hungry. They're very coachable. They're guys that are very much engaged with what we're trying to get across to them, and they've been great through. We've had 10 practices now in spring ball that I couldn't have asked to go any better. So we're excited about where they're going, and more importantly, where they want to go.
When you look at this entire roster, Coach, these are guys that you've had a chance over a year of evaluation period. This is your full roster. How big is that for you going into year 5 to have such a group of guys that you're so familiar with?
Well, it does make me feel good about where we are, where we think they can go, how to handle them, how to work with them. We know what buttons we need to push. I think the familiarity with this group, it goes back not only obviously over the last year, but some of these guys 4 years ago when we started recruiting them. And everyone wants to make a name for themselves, and these guys are no different. They want this thing to end on a positive note in their senior year. If guys that are juniors to come back for something special, but I think we just got to continue to work on a daily basis and look forward to the ride in front of us.
You speak a lot about being uncommon. When you go out and recruit kids, what type of kid does Coach Bret Beilema here at Arkansas look for to come and put on that jersey?
Well, I think the phrase uncommon is we want guys that want to hold themselves to a higher standard. We don't want guys that, possibly, look to be like the guy behind them or in front of them or to the side of them. They want them to stand apart. We want them to work with uncommon work habits. We want them to be able to achieve with uncommon results, and we want them to stand apart from the rest when everybody else is trying to be normal. So we ask that in a lot of different ways, both on the field and off it. And hopefully at the end of the day, what you're able to see is something that's never been done before.
When you talk about SEC football as opposed to a lot of the other Power 5 conferences around the country, you've had a chance to coach in the Big Ten. What's the difference on how, from a head coach's perspective, you recruit, to the SEC versus recruiting to the Big Ten?
Well, there's a lot of difference. First, geographic. Obviously, in the Big Ten, a little more north, you deal with different set of circumstances. You deal with weather first and foremost. You deal with actually a little bit larger size campuses overall. A lot of times in the Big Ten, you're dealing with, for instance, Wisconsin dealing with 40,000 students. Ohio State, some of the Michigan State, some of the other Penn State larger campuses, which are different fields. Like here we got, right around 20 to 24,000 students, and when you're talking about half the number of students, it's different field of campus. So you can recruit a different kid, you can recruit a different environment, but on the same account, you're looking to build a great program. You're looking to finish in the academic world as best as humanly possible, and obviously on the field try to have success no matter what league. So everything's a little bit different, but it still gets down to the same results. You still want to win football games and graduate your student athletes.
Talking with head coach Bret Beilema of the University of Arkansas here live on KDIV FM 98.7. If you can't have a chance and you're not in your car, download our free app. You can catch that on Android or iPhone. Just download the 98.7 KDIV app. And like I said, you can take us anywhere. I want to get back more into depth with you, Coach. As watching your running backs, you've made a comment, and that stuck with me, that you want your running backs here at Arkansas to pretty much move on to the next level after 3 years. Why, is it so apparent that that's what you want to strive for at that position?
Well, it's really good. I'd like to stay here for 4, but I'm not afraid of losing guys, especially at the running back position. It's actually one of the shortest tenure positions once you make it to the NFL because of the wear and tear on their body. And if guys are in a position to, go into the next level and be drafted at a point that they can live with from a pure, financial reward, then I ask them, we'll gladly do that. I had a lot of running backs. I think I believe my last 7 starting running backs have all had an opportunity to go on to the NFL, and hopefully more in the future. But I think the big thing that our guys see when they come here is they fit a style of offense that in reality is what the NFL does. So they have a great opportunity to showcase at this level what the next level brings, and hopefully do other things along the way.
Now, I know recruiting is the lifeblood of all great programs in any sport in college. The NCAA voted on an early signing period for football that would take place. I know there's just formalities with getting that thing passed. It would take place, I believe, Brett, the third week in December, such as like the junior colleges. How does that, from your perspective and your coaching staff, how does that help, or does that help or hurt when they pass stuff like that?
Well, I think an early signing period has been something that's coming in the works here for a while, and to settle in December is probably the best opportunity of all of them. And I say that for one reason. If you got a kid in December that has been committed to you, he's maybe from Arkansas, and he's wanted to be a Razorback his whole life, and it's a good way to just kind of put it to bed. Then he can sign the papers. He could take on the opportunity to announce it to the general public and all the NCAA rules that allow us to comment on him. Because what happens a lot of times in January, maybe some schools begin to lose scout other players, or they begin to realize, hey, we did see this kid, but since then he's put on 40 pounds. He's playing at a level, and there are new schools or new opportunities that come. Sometimes it just kind of muddies the water. So I think two things. First, it's going to clean it up for kids, it's going to clean it up for coaches, and to be quite honest, it'll be a lot more cost-effective for the schools that don't have, the large budgets that everybody else does, and kind of creates a more level playing field.
Okay, Coach, this is Demetrius Johnson. I just want to ask you about Trey Flowers playing in the NFL. How is that really helping you reflect the University of Arkansas when you're selling it to kids?
Well, it's kind of fun. Obviously, one of your favorites, one of my favorites as a coach.
Definitely.
Just as someone that strives to get better every day. He's a young man that's never yielding in the way that he approaches the game and tries to get better and puts everything into perspective. And the part that I've really enjoyed is he's probably more engaged with this program than any player I've had in the past that moves on to the NFL. He knows that his time here was so valuable. He's actually agreed that he is going to actually come back and work we're going to have what we call a trench hogs camp. It's a camp set up specifically for offensive and defensive linemen. I'm bringing in Travis Swanson and Sebastian Tola, Robert Thomas, and now Trey Flowers as our guest coaches. They're going to kind of be the featured guys in that camp. That allows us to bring in high school students, athletes from all over the country that want to be O-line and D-linemen, and give them great examples of, if you do your job and create an environment of success, this is something that can happen to anybody.
The big word around camp when you go into the Smith building is Hoganese. To the listeners and to all the fans, Coach, that may not understand that, could you explain what that what that language means to the coaches and players?
Well, I think Hoganese it's something that we created here. When you come here to the University of Arkansas, specifically in the football program, you have to speak a language that's unique and only understood by us. We have certain things that we do that are universal in football, but we may call them something different. So what we do is we create a classroom environment that the NCAA allows us to do. As coaches, we're the teachers. We decide what we're studying, when we're studying, how we're studying. We get to design the test, and we can ultimately design the grades or the rewards. But not only is it a language class, it's also a culture class. What we want to do is we want Hoganese to represent something that everybody is aware of. And when they look out and they see Hoganese in the real world, and if someone from the outside world asks, what is Hoganese? It's not just a language, it's a culture. It's a way of doing things that hopefully put ourselves in a great light and can give our guys a foundation so that when they go out and create a name for themselves beyond here, they know what they can do to brand themselves in the right way and have success.
Talking with head coach Bret Beilema of the University of Arkansas here live on the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio on FM 98.7. Coach, got about a minute and a half, but I want to talk to you about your new coaches, Coach John Scott Jr. and Chad Walker. What are you seeing, on the defensive side of the ball? You guys have flipped over to the new 3-4 scheme that makes you feel real good about, those two additions. Yeah,
I think overall just overwhelmingly positive. They're guys that are obviously masters of their craft, two guys that had NFL experiences that we brought in, and we're able to bond and respond right away with their student athletes in their rooms. Chad's coaching our outside linebackers that we call our Razor and our Hog, two guys that will be on the field on our edges that can be a little bit of everything. They're linebackers, they're DBs, they're D linemen, a little bit of everything. And then John Scott, who I brought in from the Jets, is coaching our three interior D linemen. He's done a great job just with coaching them up on hands, the language, the verbiage that he had to teach them, but also a new way of doing things. And I couldn't ask for better results. They both are tremendous teachers. They're great coaches. They absolutely represent our program in the right way, and then obviously carries over to many areas on and off the field.
Well, Coach, as always, we love you taking time out to join us on the Hill. Hopefully we'll catch up as the season progresses on. I'd like to get something going with you every week and see if we can make that possible. But, Bret, hey, thanks for taking time out on the Hill, my man.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. Have a great day. Whoop Pig.
That was Coach Bret Beilema of the University of Arkansas. We're going to keep this Hogs on 2 segment going. Let's go a little SEC roundtable. Next up, Marcus Spears of the SEC Network. It's on the Hill with Pat Jenkins live on KDIV FM 98.7.
Fayetteville's hip hop and R&B station, KDIV 98.7.